So I just want to be clear because I got this wrong. Initially, when I was planning to go to South by Southwest, I think I fell into the American arrogance of thinking that somehow we're different and the virus isn't going to impact how our awesomeness as Americans. I wasn't worried about it. So I fell into the same sort of American exceptionalism, which is really translated into incompetence. So I don't want to pretend that I saw this before anybody else did. In terms of crisis management, what I teach my kids when I say my kids, my students, there are really only three things you have to remember, but they're difficult to do. The first is you have to have the top guy or gal be seen as addressing the issue. And so let's look at the president. He's done a decent job. He's having press, at least in format, he's trying to communicate regularly. That's what he should be doing. There's some dispute around how he's handling that. He should probably just put the doctors and the scientists forward. But you give him a B on trying to be present and available in a crisis. And that's what the leader is supposed to do. You're supposed to acknowledge the issue. We've had a tanker run aground, extraordinary ecological damage. This is really bad. Acknowledge the issue. It doesn't feel as if we in the US have ever really acknowledged this issue. It was going to be a virus that disappeared, constantly slowballing death rates, constantly trying to downplay what was going on, never really acknowledging the issue. And then the key attribute in a crisis is to overcorrect. And the reason why Johnson & Johnson is one of the 7 most valuable companies in America, the reason why they came out of the Tylenol cyanide crisis a stronger brand is rather than saying, well, this is an isolated incident in Illinois, don't worry, everything's fine. They cleared the shelves of every bottle of Tylenol at huge economic cost. The ability to overreact, whether it's in personal relationships, don't get into an argument with your spouse over why they're upset, acknowledge the issue and then overcorrect and show that you take their concern seriously. Martha Stewart didn't go to jail for insider trading. She went to jail because she refused to acknowledge the issue. Tiger Woods almost lost his career, not because he was unfaithful. I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that quite a few athletes have been unfaithful to their spouses, but because he refused to acknowledge the issue. Consumers love to forgive, but what they hate is when people slowball the issue and never acknowledge the issue or don't overcorrect. So we have not overcorrected. This has been the mother of all undercorrections, and I would argue there isn't a CEO. You want to be the governor? You want to be the CEO that's accused of overcorrecting. It's not being the governor that had too many ventilators is a fraction of the downside of being the governor that has too few ventilators. So I think this is absolutely an environment to overcorrect. And I think that's just a common theme